Well, howdy folks. How's everybody doing this evening? Got a little review here. No, it's not that table you're looking at right there, or my badass Honda Ridgeline, which I should do a review on that. The navigation thing. I just updated the map. My maps wasn't working. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But I've already got it done, and I didn't YouTube it, so I guess we're just have to move on from that. Anyway, what I have here is the Bauer 12.5 inch portable thickness planer, 15 amp, 9400 RPMs in all of its glory. This thing is not light, weighs 65, 70 pounds, something like that. I was debating whether I should just leave it on the bed of the truck, but anyway, states right here it's 15 amp, 9400 RPM, 67 cuts per inch. Max depth 3/32 of an inch, depth capacity 6 inch, cuts per minute 18,800, 120 volts. It has a magnetic key for knife removal. It's got a dust thing. Yeah, it's a planer. Okay, so you noticed I've done a review on the sander, both of the routers, that circle jig. Yeah, I've been getting back into some of my woodworking stuff that, yeah, it's kind of, I put it off for years, but I make little, little crafty things like these. And what you need is a, when you make things like that, you don't want to use 3/4 inch, it gets kind of big and bulky, so you want to be able to plane it down. And, you go to Lowe's, or Home Depot, which, I was pondering this the other day. Why do they call them big box stores? I'm not getting it. I mean, yeah, I know like your washing machine and dryer come in a box, but when you pick them up, or they deliver them, there's no box. They take them out of the box, so that kind of baffles me. But anyway, not to get off topic. You can buy thinner kinds of wood there. They have poplar, they have oak, they have some pine boards, #1 pine, but you're going to pay a lot prettier penny for that versus buying regular old #2 pine and just planing it down yourself. Or if you get pallets, just remove the nails, because you definitely don't want to run a nail through your planer, and you can save yourself a buttload of money. But anyway, let me get this thing on the ground and get me a razor blade, because I think my knife's in my other pocket pants. So we'll get this thing down on the ground, open it up, and put it back on a table. Actually, I think I'm going to put it on that table you were first looking at. So let's move you right here so you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, I picked this up at Harbor Freight today too as well. It was like 38 bucks. If you're a member with Harbor Freight, the router was $429. So, and I did check online at Amazon, and the Win brand, similar specs, only 8,000 RPMs, but it was a little bit cheaper. It was like $408. Now, Viver, which has one, and if you go to their website, you can get one with a stand, and they had two. One of them was like 300 bucks with the stand, which is obviously cheaper than this and the stand. But I don't know, man. I mean, at least Harbor Freight's down the road. If something goes wrong with this thing, take it back, get another one. So, I didn't, some of the Viver stuff gets, kind of iffy reviews. Although I'm looking at one of their, whatchamacallits, lathes. So, but know that going into it, what you're getting into. So, anyway, we will get this thing out of the box and set up on the table and kind of go over what it looks like, and hopefully, and I'm hoping, because I put, I mounted this with these kind of lag, whatever you call your bolts, and I'm hoping this thing sits on there, because I did not open it up, take it out of the box to measure it. So, in the top of the box, all we've got here is an instruction sheet, and we have a knob, And then you have the planer itself. Now this planer does have handles on it. So let me show you. So when you open this thing, there is a handle right here and there's a handle right here. Do not grab it from these rollers here because you can bend them. So, and yeah, like I said, this thing's not light. So I'm gonna struggle with lifting this out of this box and set it on this workbench. Ah, perfect. That leaves me a little bit of space to drill down because I got these other smaller lag bolts, and that might work. I'm not sure. May have to put them in upside down, but that's neither here nor there. We'll mount that at another time. So let's get the box out of the way here. And get you over here so we can look at this thing. I had an old Craftsman one. Oh God, that thing was ancient. Ancient. And it weighed like 1,000 pounds. No, I don't know. It was pretty freaking heavy. I could barely lift the thing up by myself. And problem was, it worked fine, but getting blades for it was next to impossible. So I ended up selling that thing and thought, I'll never need a planer again. So I was like, wrong. Okay, so what do we got here is we have your in-feed table here, and then around the back side you will have your outfeed table, okay? And we've got that handle which goes in the top there, so we'll grab that and we'll put that on. It's actually a nice day out today. You can see I got the doors open. I don't know if you can see off in the distance over there. See, I'll zoom in. Zoom. That is our weeping cherry. It's blooming out. So, supposed to get some decent thunderstorms here tonight. Seems like all it does here lately is rain. I did do a video, never posted it up. That last time, we had that creek down there, which you guys have seen me in my walks. It was about up to the road. It was honking flowing, man. So we're supposed to get rain all day tomorrow, tonight, all day tomorrow, and into Saturday. So let's see here if you can see what I'm seeing here. Let me move my lever up. I am right here. So I'm guessing there's a screw down in here, or there's an Allen. So we're going to put this on here. It doesn't look like it goes. Yes, it does. There is a flat side to this screw here. And you put it on with the flat side down onto there. Did this ship with an Allen key? Well, if it did, I'm not seeing it. Okay, well, unless it's in this bag of stuff up here. Okay, we have this here, which is your magnetic thing. I'm guessing one of the oh yeah, I'll show you where those go here in a sec. We have the dust collector. Go ahead and take that out of the packaging. And there are two screws which you don't want to lose inside there. I'm guessing that screws on. Okay, so there's that one. And then there's that one. I don't know if, and looking at the size of it, I don't think this is going to bolt down to the wet and dry. But let's see. Here's the wet and dry. Here's the adapter. Oh, heck no, man. That's like way too big. All right, so I'm going to have to see if I can round up an adapter that goes from a wet and dry vac to one of these things, because this thing will kick out a lot of sawdust. And I'm not seeing, oh yeah, there is an Allen key. Let me undo the cord back here. Get that out of the way. Okay, so in the back of it here, let's go back around the back. You will see these are the magnetic things for the taking the blades off, which, and here is your Allen key. You need that. We'll find out where the blades are momentarily. Go ahead and get this top thing screwed down on here. Man, I hear people out with the mowers. Okay, so that's down. So clockwise is up. I'm going to put this little cap back on here. We'll put our tool back. Okay, so I'm looking to see where the blades are. May start raining here sooner than later. Okay, well, we got it up enough to take the packing out. All right, so let's go back over here. I need to move my roller thing out of the way. I was cutting some stuff earlier on the table saw. All right, so we're gonna need that tool back. Okay. Well, we haven't looked at any instructions yet, so we may have to look at the instructions. We're definitely gonna have to look at the instructions to see where the blades are. So we're going to put a screw in here. And then we'll put the other one down at the bottom. You know, I wonder if, yeah, it only goes one way. Because one screw is at the top. Bring it around again. One screw is at the top right, and the other one is at the bottom left. So anyway, like I said, I was looking around on Amazon and just ended up, you know, going with this one because of the proximity of Harbor Freight to where I am. And yeah, I'm going to have to move that table when I go to cut anything on here because it's going to shoot it all over my bike stuff, which I need to get off my butt and work on. So, yeah, I'm going to have to make something or wrap the hose in a lot of duct tape. So, because as you can see, it's going to shoot out here, and I don't think the cats water bowl, they would appreciate wood chips in their water. All right, so let's go back around to the front here and see what else we got here. If you're looking here and down here and right here, these are your adjustments for your in-feed, and you will have the same adjustments on the other side for your out-feed table. If you need to adjust it. Now, one of the problems you get with a lot of these is called snipe. When you run your board in, you may have about a 2-inch section where it kind of looks like it's being gouged out at the leading edge and the trailing edge of the board. Now, supposedly, there are a couple things you can do to help prevent snipe. You can make a sled, but the first and easiest thing is to take a straight edge and kind of see if you can set it up and see if your table's level. And this one is. It appears to be level front to back. And another trick from an old wood magazine is you can, I don't think I have any change. Let's see here. They said a penny. You can take a penny, and a penny ain't going to work in this machine though, because what you can do is you can stack, like maybe a shim, or depending on how wide the piece is you're working on, stack a few things together. So you can, I got like 3/4 right here, and you can put that up, which that's going to be too thick. The quarters won't go down, but you can, I don't know, I'll have to see how bad the snipe is on it. The one thing, here's your gauge right here, and up here is where you raise and lower it. So if you want to go up, and like I said, this will do 6 inches, that'll raise it up. So you want to go counterclockwise to bring it down, and it says 1 full turn is equal to 1/16 of an inch. So keep that in mind. You don't want to go too deep when you're cutting. So, all right. Another feature this thing has is it has a little safety key. So if you do have kids hanging around, you keep your stuff plugged in, you can take your safety key out and it will not turn on. So that's a nice feature. What else? What else do we have here? That's pretty much it. Let's plug it in. See how loud this thing is before we actually run anything through it. I'm sure it is going to be deafening loud. It is indeed pretty loud. All right, so what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to go sideways here. I do have some boards here. We'll kind of go over those and kick the sawdust out towards the opening of the garage, which is probably just going to blow everywhere because it's getting kind of breezy out. All right, let's talk about some wood. Okay, what do we got here? What do we have here? We have a piece of 3/4 inch regular pine. Nothing fancy. This is flooring I have in our living room. This is hickory flooring, 3/4 inch. This is actually pretty hefty, solid wood. I got a bunch of this sitting out back, and it's great project wood, especially if you cut off, your tongue and groove part and trim it up, plane it down, to get rid of this stuff on the back, these little slots you see in there, and yeah, you can glue it up and make nice projects with it instead of throwing it on the burn pile. Now this wood right here, okay, I believe it is white oak. It has a stain on it, which is hideous, and this is 1 1/8 inches thick. Okay, this wood was in our living room. At some point, I don't know if I've stated this house was built around 1835, 1836. And this is what is underneath the hickory flooring in the dining room. 1 1/8 inch solid oak. They didn't use crap wood around here back in the day, that's for sure. So, but anyway, apparently at one time there was a fire in the living room, and they took it all out, poured concrete, and they kept all the wood, which is nice because this is some seriously nice wood. What's kind of weird though, and I didn't get the scale out, but you got these two pieces here. This piece here, which I'm guessing that's maybe a little over 2 foot long. Then you got this honking piece here, which this thing's probably, let's measure. Got my tape measure right here. Okay, so the little board is, like I said, 24 inches, 2 feet long. This long one here is 47 inches long. And this little piece of hickory weighs almost as much as this big piece of honking white oak. And don't quote me on that. It could be red oak, but it doesn't have a red tinge to it. It's got a white tinge. So anyway, you know, my guess is white oak. I really need to study up on my tree species. That way I can just go around and find stuff and cut it up and make my own wood. But anyway, the problem you have with this kind of flooring, and as you can see, I've cut this edge, I've cut this edge, I've cut these end offs. You have to make sure you get all the nails out of it. Because you don't want to hit a nail, and I said that previously, with the planer. So, and you can see the bottom of this is rough sawn. Okay, and the top had been sanded smooth. Oak is not a good choice if you live in an area with termites, because termites love oak. Poplar, on the other hand, which is a hardwood, but it's actually soft, termites don't like poplar. So, just a note to self. All right, so I think we need to run a piece through and see what this thing is going to do. And I should probably at least put this little outfeed table on the back. I mean, I could probably just go around and grab it. See what the height is and if this table's going to hit it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, now, you see me say it's got a gauge on the front. Actually, before we go down that path, let's look in the manual. And hey, before we even go down that path, my last video, I stated, I'm going to start talking about some of these beers I get. Well, here we got a new one here. This is Against the Grain. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville. Black Pills. This is a dark beer, lager. It's light. It's got a light taste, but it actually is almost black. If you guys have ever heard of a beer called Zingu, which is a Brazilian black beer, it is black, but it's got a kind of a lighter flavor, and I think this is kind of a take on that. It's only 5% alcohol, but it's drinkable. I like it. So I mean, I like dark beers by and large the most. But in the summertime, even this beer would, when it's hot, you know, and cutting the grass, this actually wouldn't be a bad beer. So it's not heavy like most dark beers are. But anyway, not a sponsor, and they should be as much Against the Grain 35K, which I won't talk about that one yet. That'll be in another one. As much of that stuff I buy, and this stuff's not cheap. This is $13, almost $14 for a 4-pack, and these are a pint. Yeah, 1 pint, 16-ounce cans. So good stuff. So note to self, yourselves. All right, so we got the destruction manual here. Let's take a look in here and see. I don't have this thing mounted yet, so I'm hoping it doesn't seriously vibrate off this stand. I am going to mount it, but I don't want to do it right now. So, because actually, no, I mean I can, but I want to get these feet for the bottom down here that you can kick down and raise the table up, and then drop it back down. Because I don't want to be, once I bolt this thing to this table, I don't want to be lugging this thing, you know, with the weight of the table, the weight of the, you know, planer itself. I'm just looking to have a back surgery there. Okay, so we talked about the leveling bolts. That's where those are. And I mean, we can put, I'm not gonna screw it. I mean, if your table's level and everything you got sitting on is level, you can put a level on here and see how level it is. But I also showed you the straight edge rule test to run it across there, and it looked fairly good to me. Okay, there is a V belt in here, and I don't think it even shows where those blades are. And I really don't understand what these, you can't see, what these rollers here are for. Kind of puzzled by that one. I guess you could roll a piece of wood across it. I don't know what purpose that would serve. The cutter head is definitely underneath here, and of course I probably shouldn't be sticking my hand there. But yeah, maybe I'll have to do another video on actually how to change the blades in this thing, because I don't think it even states in this instruction manual. Which, okay, yeah, there it is. You got to loosen the screws on the dust chute and remove that. Then you got to remove the blade guard. And then wearing gloves, which is probably a really good idea because those things are sharp. Rotate the head until it's in place to where you can get to the 6 hex screws and the gib. And then using those magnets that I showed you in the back, stick those magnets on there. That way you can lift them out. So it looks actually pretty straightforward. All right, so with that said, let's lower this thing down. And it doesn't have anything to tell you the height of your wood. It does not have a wood gauge. So I'm going to lower this thing down until it is touching this wood. Just so it's snug. We'll see if it takes anything off of it. All right, that's barely. Get you back down here so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay, that's right down there. I don't know how much it's going to take off, but it says, according to this, that one full rotation is a 1/16 of an inch. So it would be nice if this kind of had, I mean, it does have markings, 1/32, 3/64, 1/64. You know, whoa, focus, focus. It'd be nice if it had little hash marks, but I mean, you can always do that with an orange Sharpie or something like that. All right, says here, our height is at but roughly 3/4 of an inch, I think. Let's see here. Let's move this scale where we know we're at. Let's see. Ooh, about to step into cat's water. That would not be good. So that's a half. Yeah, 5/8. That is 3/4 of an inch. I'm looking at this scale, guys. I don't know if you can see me. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Well, let's go back up. Actually, let me go all the way down. I mean, I can see the scale on the 1. Okay, so that's a 1/2 inch. That there should be 3/4. But we're going to go up a little bit, because it looks like either that scale is off or something, because it's hitting yeah, it's still hitting. I just don't want to be taking off way too much. Okay, so right there at 1/64, it's hitting this wood. All right, let's turn it on. It's gonna make some noise. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's even going to show up. You can see between here and here, there's a line, okay? That's snipe. And we have it on the in, excuse me, we have it on the in-feed side, but I'm not seeing it on the out-feed side. So I'm going to run this board back through. And so if that's the case, if we've got it at the beginning, then that means our in-feed table needs to come up a little bit. But I'll dork around with that and then maybe do another video on that. So I'm just going to run it back through with this setting that as it is. And before I do that, my scale is adjustable. You can adjust that. So I'm going to have to adjust that because it is sitting on now 3/4 of an inch. And I'm already taking wood off this, and I did measure this, and it is 3/4 of an inch. So let's measure it again, since we took a smidge off. And we're not at quite 5/8, we're a hair under 3/4. So, but I'm gonna run it back through and see if it clears up this snipe. We're going to run it down a little bit more. Yeah, that thing makes a mess. Okay, so we do have a little bit of snipe, and I will dork around with that off camera and see if I can, if I come to a solution, then I'll do another video and show exactly what I did to get rid of the snipe. All right, so that I'm not worried about right now. I did expect that, so that is no big deal. So let's go back up, because we know that this flooring is 3/4 inch. So okay, it's running through here now. All right, so I guess if you take and you lower this down, to where it's barely touching this front edge right here, and don't quote me on this. I'm no woodworking expert, but it is sitting right on this leading edge here. So, and if this board is 3/4 of an inch, which let's measure. I did measure it already, but exactly 3/4 of an inch. All right. So if we have it set to 3/4 of an inch, and we're looking at this little scale right here, we should be able to loosen that up with a Phillips and adjust this gauge, so it's reading properly. Because I mean, yeah, you can take your board out and measure it each time, but I don't know if that screw, I don't know if that pointer is going to go up enough. No, it's not. Okay, well, that may or may not be an issue. I don't know. I'll have to dork around with that and see if I can get a precise measurement. So going in, if you set your gauge to 3/4 of an inch, and your board's 3/4 of an inch, when you're running it through, you're taking off an exact amount based on what this scale is reading. But see, now it's not wanting to go in, so let's raise it back up. All right, so now it's just barely clearing, and it's like right under the 3/4 of an inch mark. So I mean, that's fairly close. And since you're only taking off a 1/16 at a time, pull your board back out, measure it. If your target is like 3/8 of an inch, half inch, and just keep checking it. And you're doing one full turn, which is a 1/16 of an inch. You'll, be there in no time. All right, so let's try the smooth surface first. That was definitely, I was getting quite a bit of chatter. That was definitely a little too deep of a cut. But I'm gonna run it back through. Yeah, it's making a mess. I think I got the thing plugged up. Let me get my coat hanger. So on that second cut that I just did, I only turned the handle a half a turn instead of a full turn. The surface of the board is looking pretty good. It's fairly smooth, and actually I got a few rough spots, but I'm gonna do half cuts. Let me clear out this. Actually, I'll see if I can shove the wet and dry in there and suck that clear. Plugged up now. I'm just plugging everything up. Let's remove the chute in the back here quickly and see where that it's clogged up. So definitely with the pine, yeah, you can go a full turn, but with the hickory there, I would not recommend a full turn. Oh yeah, this thing's quite plugged up back here. Alright, and that looks clear now. So we'll put our cover back on, and I dropped one of the screws that was attached to the Allen key, and it's laying in a pile of sawdust now. So away to go, genius Greg. Alright, well, I gotta find that. Oh, no, I didn't lose it. So I am a genius, I take that back. No, I'm not. I am far from a genius. But, this, excuse me, I know Harbor Freight does sell a a dust collection system, so I may have to look into that. The problem with the wet and dry, it'll work, but if you're being not so smart like me and taking off a lot bigger pieces, then the chunks are going to get caught up in the wet and dry. All right, so let's turn it a quarter of a turn, and we're going to work on this side here that has the grooves in it. And did I pop a breaker? I don't see nothing popped. Did I come unplugged? I came unplugged. We are at right at just a hair over 3/8, but it's got a nice, pretty smooth finish, you know, and you can see where critters right here. Termites eat these wood. Of course, I had it sitting out back. It's been covered, but there's a big knot right there. But you know, the bottom side where it had all the grooves, that's this side right here, it come out nice. So yeah, so that's a nice piece. Okay, I hope hope I have enough room for this other board. Let's go up. I probably ought to cut some of this because it's kind of long. And I have like quadruple checked this thing to make sure that I haven't seen any nails. You know, and I have not seen any nails. So I've got it raised up. I don't know if it's going to take off anything. Let's see here. Let's go backwards. Let's go up until we know it goes through. And we'll try that. Okay, I don't know if you were seeing me. I was lifting up on this table to try to hold it up, and that does indeed help with the snipe on the infeed. And if you're paying attention when I'm running it through and it was doing the snipe thing, like on the pine, the other one, you can hear it when it first starts to cut. The pitch is definitely different than as the board gets through. So lifting up, raising this back up higher will definitely eliminate the snipe on this thing. So, because as you can see, there is no snipe. And it is smooth to the touch. And man, is that some pretty looking wood. Look at that. Man, that's nice. I got a bunch of it back there. Like I said, you just gotta run it through the table saw and get all the nails out of it. And I think actually Harbor Freight sells a little kind of handheld metal detector for wood. So I'm gonna look into that, because man, that is I mean, I didn't even take that much off of it. And what are we sitting at? that would make a beautiful table or whatever. I am sitting at 1 inch now, and I'm hearing thunder. So I didn't count how many passes I went through on that thing, but go to a wood store and price out some, what does it call that, 4/4 white oak, and see what that stuff will cost. And I got a bunch of this stuff laying out back. So I am pretty stoked about that, guys, and I'm pretty stoked now that I can use this hickory, which I know it doesn't look like much, but it's got beautiful grain, and you can make some really cool little things, you know, just stupid things, nice things. But yeah, this thing, it makes a mess. Here, I'll show you. Holy crap moly, that's a lot. But anyway, I will look into the, whatchamacallit, the dust collection thing, and maybe I'll do another video on the changing the blades, and I will dork around with the adjustment on this. And what I'm going to do is on this table down here, right there where my hand is, I'm going to raise it up, you know, and that I know will fix the problem. And it's not doing it as the board's exiting the planer. It's not doing it. It's only when it's feeding in. So the only one I got to adjust in is this table in front, the infeed table. So I will adjust that, and I will get it mounted, and maybe I'll do a video. I mean, mounting is no big deal. There's 4 holes in it, you know, and I'll just line it up on my table here and mark it with a pencil, Sharpie, drill down, and I'll mount that. And but the feet thing, I may video that. I don't know. It's not really rocket science, but anyway, this is the Bauer Planer, and it cuts great. You've seen the pieces of wood. Of course, the one is just pine. But the hickory and the, no, it's not hickory. It's not hickory. Is it birch? Beech? Hickory is what we got in the dining room. That is in the kitchen, or living room. Beech, I think it's beech. It looks very similar to hickory. But the hickory has a little more of the maple look into it. But the other stuff is definitely white oak. So once planed down, you can tell it's not red at all. But this thing cuts great. It's going to work perfect for, you know, some of these little beer things and stuff that I make, or little condiment trays, or signboards and stuff like that, which I use a lot of pallet wood for that because it's cheap and actually it's free. So anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this, and the machine is definitely nice. I will play with it more, and if I come up with any tips or tricks or anything like that, I will definitely pass that on to you guys and let you know. But yeah, I'm going to add this to my the list here, and a list of tools, and make a holy hell mess and more stuff for the burn pile. So thanks for watching, and catch you guys on the next video. See ya.